Okay, so we got 6 minutes for Joan to master Joanne, I'm sorry, to totally master the meaning of differential calculus, okay? To where she can come back and enlighten the rest of us.
Right.
Okay? Yeah, it's feasible.
You
Okay.
come back tomorrow with all your work done.
You really can master it with this system of exercise. Doesn't mean you can necessarily apply it in every situation, because the rates can get really complicated. Things that I have to stop and beat my head against the wall to understand even what the heck they mean. Okay?
If
I can
you
do
the what?
Never
What the
mind.
heck
Okay,
they-
now, what if y is pendulum frequency and x is length? Okay? Well, the graph doesn't look like this. You know what the graph looks like. It looks like this. Well, you could draw this graph and you could draw this thing. Matter of fact, you drew one yesterday that could easily apply to a pendulum frequency versus length. Might not be a very accurate graph, might not have quite the right curvature and everything, but your picture would work fine, right? Still, in terms of this picture, what's the meaning of the rise? What's the meaning of the run of their fundamental triangle? Which gives you then the meaning of the slope of this trapezoid, which then can extrapolate to the meaning of the slope of the graph, which you associate with the derivative. Okay? And that last part you don't have to understand if you haven't had calculus, but I say that for the benefit of those who have. Okay? Or to confuse those who have, maybe, but I don't think so. That's not my intent. Okay. So, again, you start with the fundamental triangle. Okay? And what's the rise and what's the meaning of the rise? Well, you got to start with what does f of x mean and what does f of x plus delta x mean, right? Okay? Well, what's the meaning of f of x?
It's the frequency and the length is x.
It's the frequency.
When the length is x.
Exactly. Those are exactly the words I would have used, so you really want to maybe get psychoanalyzed or something for using the same words I would. Okay. But yes, and those are the words any good mathematician would probably use. It's the f of x is the length, is the frequency of the pendulum whose length is x. Right? Okay? So now we know what these things mean. What does this mean? What does x plus delta x mean, and what does f of x plus delta x mean?
F of x plus delta x is the frequency when the length is x plus delta x.
Exactly. F of x plus delta x is the frequency when the length is x plus delta x. Or, in terms of x, it's f of x is the frequency when the length is x, and f of x plus delta x is the frequency when the length is changed by delta x, right? So, let's see, if I get that chalk out, boy, this is getting, only got 3 minutes. Okay, so, f of x
Your Brahmin is proud.
So I say f of x plus delta x is then the frequency when the length is x plus delta x, i.e., that is, the frequency when the length is changed by delta x, right? So, I'm going to say, words of wisdom for Joan to ponder, Joanne to ponder. Joan can ponder them too if she wants. Now I forgot what I was going to say. Words of wisdom slip Okay, ponder this. F of x plus delta x minus f of x is the rise of your fundamental triangle and expresses the change in frequency driven by the change delta x in the length. And Joan's going to stomp out in less than a minute. Joanne is probably going to go too. Okay? Those are the last words, except ponder what that means until it's so obvious to you that you'll never forget what it means and you'll always understand it. And then you can apply it to other situations.